Welcome to English Listening Practice. I'm Taylor, and over the next 30 minutes, we're going to dramatically improve your ability to understand real English conversations. This episode is designed for B1 to C1 learners who want to bridge the gap between textbook English and the way native speakers actually talk. Today's episode features 5 different listening passages, each with a unique challenge. You'll hear different accents, various speeding speeds, and authentic language, including idioms, phrasal verbs, and connected speech. After each passage, I'll guide you through comprehension questions and highlight key vocabulary. Here's a pro tip. Don't worry if you don't understand everything on the first listen. Native speakers often miss things too. Focus on getting the main ideas first, then the details will come with practice. Let's warm up your ears with a quick exercise. I'll say a sentence at normal speed, then break it down. Ready? What are you going to do when you've finished? Did you catch that? Let me say it slowly. What are you going to do when you have finished? Notice how in natural speech, what are becomes whatter, going to becomes gonna, and you have becomes you've. This is the real English we're practicing today. Our first listening passage is a conversation between 2 colleagues discussing a job interview. You'll hear British and American accents mixed together. Listen for the main points. How did the interview go? What challenges did they face? What's the next step? Here we go. Marcus, American. Hey, Sophie, I've been dying to hear. How'd your interview go yesterday? Sophie, British. Oh, Marcus, it was intense, to say the least. I was there for nearly 3 hours. Marcus, American. 3 hours? That's insane. What did they have you doing? Building a rocket? Sophie, British. Laughs. Felt like it. First, there was the panel interview, 4 people firing questions at me, then a technical test, and finally a presentation I had to prepare on the spot. Marcus, American. Whoa, talk about putting you through your paces. How'd you handle the pressure? Sophie, British. The panel interview went brilliantly, actually. They asked about my experience with project management, and I used that STAR method you taught me. You know, the situation, task, action, result. They seemed really impressed when I talked about the Morrison account turnaround. Marcus, American. That's awesome. I knew that would come in handy. What about the technical test? Sophie, British. That's where things got a bit dodgy. They threw in some curveball questions about software I haven't used in years. I was honest about it though, said I'd need to brush up, but that I'm a quick learner. Marcus, American. Honesty is always the best policy. They probably appreciated that. And the presentation? Sophie, British. They gave me 30 minutes to prepare a pitch for a hypothetical client. My hands were literally shaking, but once I got going, I found my rhythm. I even made them laugh a couple of times. Marcus, American. That's huge. Humor can really seal the deal. When will you hear back? Sophie, British. They said early next week. The waiting is going to kill me. The head of department mentioned they're interviewing 12 people for just 2 positions. Marcus, American. 12 for 2? That's rough competition. But hey, you've got this. You're exactly what they're looking for. Sophie, British. Thanks, Marcus. Fingers crossed. If I don't get it, at least it was brilliant practice. The feedback alone was worth it. Marcus, American. That's the spirit. Want to grab coffee and debrief properly? I want to hear every detail. Sophie, British. Absolutely. Your treat if I get the job? Marcus, American, laughs. Deal. But I'm confident I'll be buying that coffee.
Okay, let's check your comprehension. Think about these questions. First, how long was Sophie's interview? The answer? Nearly 3 hours. Second, What 3 components did the interview have? Answer: a panel interview, a technical test, and a presentation. Third, how many positions are available and how many people are interviewing? Answer: 2 positions, 12 candidates. Let's look at some key phrases. Dying to hear means very eager to know something. Put through your paces means to test someone's abilities thoroughly. Dodgy, British slang meaning uncertain or risky. Curveball questions, unexpected, difficult questions. Seal the deal. Finalize something successfully. Notice the connected speech. How'd your interview go? How did becomes how'd. Going to kill me. Going to becomes gonna. Now let's challenge ourselves with a news report. This features more formal language and technical vocabulary. Listen for what new technology is being discussed. What are its benefits? What concerns are raised? Good evening. Tonight, we're examining a groundbreaking development in carbon capture technology that could revolutionize our approach to climate change. Our science correspondent, Jennifer Walsh, has this special report. Thank you, Richard. I'm here at the University of Cambridge, where researchers have unveiled what they're calling a game changer in the fight against global warming. The team, led by Professor David Chen, has developed a new material that can absorb CO2 from the atmosphere at unprecedented rates. Professor Chen, what we've created is essentially a super sponge for carbon dioxide. Our metal organic framework, or MOF, can capture CO2 molecules while allowing other gases to pass through freely. What's particularly exciting is that it works at room temperature and requires minimal energy to release the captured CO2 for storage. The implications are staggering. Current carbon capture technologies are energy-intensive and expensive, limiting their widespread adoption. This new material could reduce costs by up to 75% while increasing efficiency threefold. However, not everyone's convinced. Dr. Sarah Martinez from the Environmental Policy Institute raises some concerns. Dr. Martinez, while this technology is undoubtedly impressive, we need to be cautious about viewing it as a silver bullet. There's a risk that breakthrough technologies like this could be used to justify continued fossil fuel consumption rather than addressing the root cause of emissions. We call this the moral hazard problem. The research team acknowledges these concerns, but argues that we need every tool available in our climate arsenal. Professor Chen, we're facing a climate emergency that requires both immediate emission reductions and active removal of existing atmospheric CO2. This technology doesn't replace renewable energy or conservation efforts, it complements them. We're looking at scaling up production and, if successful, we could see industrial applications within 3 to 5 years. The technology has already attracted significant investment. Tech billionaire James Morrison announced a $500 million fund specifically for carbon capture technologies, with this Cambridge team receiving the first major grant. The question now isn't whether this technology works, it clearly does. The challenge is scaling it up quickly enough to make a meaningful impact on global emissions. For BBC News, I'm Jennifer Walsh in Cambridge. Fascinating developments there. Coming up after the break, let's test your understanding. What type of material did the researchers develop? A metal organic framework, or MOF, that acts like a super sponge for CO2. What's the cost reduction potential of this technology? Up to 75% cost reduction. What concern does Dr. Martinez raise? The moral hazard problem that this technology might justify continued fossil fuel use. Key vocabulary. Game changer. Something that completely changes how something is done. Unprecedented. Never seen or done before. Staggering. Shocking or amazing. Silver bullet, a simple solution to a complex problem. Moral hazard, when protection from risk encourages riskier behavior. This next passage is a customer service call with background noise, interruptions, and informal language. Listen for, what's the customer's problem? What solutions are offered? How is it resolved?
Good afternoon, Tech Support Plus. This is Raj speaking. How may I assist you today? Hi there, Raj. I'm having a nightmare with my internet connection. It's been cutting in and out all week, and I work from home, so this is really affecting my livelihood. I completely understand how frustrating that must be, sir. Let me pull up your account. Can I have your account number or the phone number associated with your service? Sure, it's 555-0147. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Thompson, I can see your account here. You're on our premium fiber plan, is that correct? That's right, yeah. Premium's a bit of a joke though, considering the service lightly. I sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. I can see there have been some intermittent connectivity issues logged. Let me run a diagnostic on your line. While that's running, can you tell me when these disconnections typically occur? It's totally random. Sometimes it's fine for hours, then boom, drops out for like 10-15 minutes. Yesterday, it happened right in the middle of a presentation to clients. I look like a complete amateur. That's absolutely unacceptable, and I'm truly sorry that happened. The diagnostic is showing some signal degradation on your line. Mr. Thompson, have you noticed any construction work in your area recently? Actually, yeah. They've been digging up the road about 2 blocks away. You think that's related? It's very possible. Construction can sometimes damage underground cables. I'm seeing here that there's a reported infrastructure issue in your area that's scheduled for repair. However, I don't want you to wait any longer. I have 2 immediate solutions for you. I'm all ears. First, I can send a technician to your property tomorrow between 2 and 4 p.m. to check your internal connections and potentially reroute your service through a different line. Second, as compensation for this inconvenience, I'd like to offer you a portable 5G hotspot free of charge until your main connection is stable. We'll also credit your account for the past week of service issues. Oh wow, I wasn't expecting that. The hotspot would be a lifesaver. Can you guarantee it'll work better than my current connection? The 5G hotspot provides a completely independent connection, so it won't be affected by the cable issues. It should give you speeds of 50 to 100 Mbps, which is perfect for video calls and regular work. I can have it couriered to you today for arrival by 6 p.m. That's actually fantastic, Raj. And the technician tomorrow? Yes, sir. They'll do a comprehensive check and have authorization to implement any fixes needed at no charge to you. You'll also receive a text an hour before they arrive. Is 2 to 4 p.m. suitable? Perfect. Raj, you've turned my whole day around. I was ready to cancel everything and switch providers. We absolutely don't want to lose you as a customer, Mr. Thompson. Your satisfaction is our priority. The hotspot will arrive today, the technician tomorrow, and you'll see a credit of $89.99 on your next bill. Is there anything else I can help you with? No, that's everything. Thanks for actually listening and solving the problem, instead of just reading from a script. It's my pleasure, sir. You'll receive an email confirmation of everything we've discussed. Have a wonderful day.
Comprehension check. What's been happening with the customer's internet? Cutting in and out intermittently all week. What 2 solutions did Raj offer? A technician visit tomorrow and a free 5G hotspot delivered today. What compensation will the customer receive? An $89.99 credit on a next bill. Useful phrases. Having a nightmare. Experiencing serious problems. I'm all ears. I'm listening carefully. Turn something around. Completely change a situation. Reading from a script, giving rehearsed, impersonal responses. This passage is from a university lecture on behavioral economics. It features academic vocabulary, complex ideas, and a Scottish accent. Listen for the main theory being explained and the examples used. Right then, continuing our exploration of cognitive biases, today we're examining what's arguably the most pervasive bias affecting human decision-making, the availability heuristic. Now, before we dive deep, can anyone recall what we mean by heuristic? No? Well, a heuristic is essentially a mental shortcut, a rule of thumb our brains use to make quick decisions without extensive analysis. Usually these serve us well, but sometimes they lead us astray. The availability heuristic, first identified by Tversky and Kahneman in the 1970s, describes our tendency to overestimate the likelihood of events that come easily to mind. In other words, if you can readily recall examples of something happening, you'll think it's more common than it actually is. Let me illustrate with a classic example. Which do you think causes more deaths annually in the United States? Shark attacks or falling aeroplane parts? Most people immediately say shark attacks. Why? Because shark attacks make headlines. They're dramatized in films. They're memorable and frightening. But here's the thing. Statistically, you're 30 times more likely to be killed by falling aeroplane parts. The availability heuristic has skewed your risk assessment. This bias has profound implications for how we navigate modern life. Consider how media coverage affects our perception of crime. Despite crime rates falling consistently over the past 3 decades in most developed nations, surveys show people believe crime is increasing. Why? Because every violent crime gets extensive media coverage, making these events highly available in our memory. The business world exploits this bias constantly. Insurance companies know that after highly publicized natural disasters, people overestimate the risk and purchase more coverage than statistically warranted. Marketing teams use vivid testimonials rather than statistics because personal stories are more available to our memory than abstract numbers. But here's where it gets really interesting and somewhat concerning. Social media has essentially weaponized the availability heuristic. Algorithms show us content similar to what we've previously engaged with, creating echo chambers where certain types of information become hyper-available while others virtually disappear. This doesn't just affect our shopping habits, it shapes our political views, our understanding of social issues, even our perception of what's normal or acceptable behaviour. So, how do we combat this bias? Well, awareness is the first step. Simply knowing about the availability heuristic helps you recognise when it might be influencing your judgment. Second, actively seek out base rate information, actual statistics rather than memorable anecdotes. Third, and this is crucial, diversify your information sources. If all your information comes from similar sources, you're amplifying the bias rather than correcting for it. Remember, our brains evolved for a world where immediate, memorable dangers were often the most serious threats. A rustling in the bushes that might be a predator deserved our full attention. But in today's information-saturated world, the most available information isn't necessarily the most accurate or important.
Let's check your understanding. What is the availability heuristic? The tendency to overestimate the likelihood of events that easily come to mind. What example shows people are 30 times more at risk than they think? Falling airplane parts cause more deaths than shark attacks. How does social media amplify this bias? Algorithms create echo chambers by showing similar content repeatedly. Academic vocabulary. Pervasive. Present everywhere. Rule of thumb. Practical guideline. Lead astray. Cause to make errors. Skewed. Distorted or biased. Warranted. Justified or necessary. Echo chambers. Environments where similar views are reinforced. Our final passage is the most challenging. A casual conversation between 4 friends at a restaurant with overlapping speech, interruptions, and colloquialisms. Listen for what are they planning? What disagreement occurs? Guys, before we order, can we please sort out Lisa's birthday thing? It's in 2 weeks and we've literally done nothing. Oh shoot, that's right. Wasn't Tom supposed to? Hey, don't pin this on me. I said I'd help, not organize the whole thing. Classic Tom. Okay, let's think. What about that escape room place downtown? Lisa's always going on about wanting to try one. Ooh, that's actually perfect. She mentioned it again last week. But wait, how many people are we talking? Well, there's us 4, obviously. Then her sister, her boyfriend. Don't forget the work crowd. She's pretty tight with them now. Whoa, hold up. If we invite the work people, we're looking at like 15, maybe 20 people. Escape rooms max out at what, 8? 6, actually. I checked their website last month for my cousin's thing. So that's out then. Unless we could book multiple rooms and make it a competition. Now you're talking. That would be epic! Losing team buys drinks after. I don't know, guys. That sounds super complicated to coordinate. Plus, it's gonna cost a fortune. These places are like $40 a head. Olivia's got a point. What if we just did something low-key? Dinner somewhere nice, then drinks at that new rooftop bar.
Boring. It's her 30th, not her 60th. We need to do something memorable. What about, pause for effect, surprise karaoke party? Tom, no. What? She loves karaoke. She loves doing karaoke when she's drunk with just us, not in front of her boss and colleagues. Can you imagine? Surprise! Now sing Bohemian Rhapsody in front of everyone you professionally respect. Okay, back to the drawing board. What about a weekend trip? We could do that wine tour and... Jake, be realistic. People have jobs. No one can just disappear for a weekend with 2 weeks' notice. Wait, I've got it. What about a themed party at Tom's place? His apartment's huge. We could fit everyone. Absolutely not. Last time we had a party at mine, someone put a hole in my wall and my neighbors nearly called the cops. That was one time, and technically that was Dave's fault, not ours. Guys, we're overthinking this. Lisa's pretty chill. She'd probably be happy with just... Oh my God, Lisa just texted me. She says, and I quote, "I know you idiots are planning something. Please, nothing crazy. Dinner and drinks is perfect." Well, that settles that then. How did she even know? Maybe because you've been acting super weird around her all week. I have not. Yes, you have. Final comprehension check. What occasion are they planning for? Lisa's 30th birthday. Why did they reject the escape room idea? Too many people. Rooms only hold 6. They'd have 15 to 20 guests. What did Lisa request via text? Answer: nothing crazy, just dinner and drinks. Colloquial expressions. Going on about. Talking repeatedly about something. Tight with. Close friends with. Hold up. Wait a minute. Low key. Simple, understated. Back to the drawing board. Start planning again. Pretty chill. Very relaxed. Excellent work making it through all 5 passages. Each one presented different challenges, from formal news language to overlapping casual speech. Let's wrap up with 3 essential tips for improving your listening. First, embrace ambiguity. You don't need to understand every single word to grasp the meaning. Native speakers use context to fill in gaps all the time. Second, pay attention to intonation and stress. In English, how something is said often matters as much as what is said. Rising intonation might indicate a question or uncertainty, while emphasis on certain words reveals the speaker's main point. Third, expose yourself to various accents and speaking styles. Today, you heard British, American, Indian, and Scottish accents. The more variety you experience, the more flexible your listening becomes. Your homework: choose the passage you found most difficult and listen to it 3 more times this week. First time, focus on the general meaning. Second time, try to catch specific details. Third time, shadow the speakers. Pause and repeat what they say, matching their rhythm and intonation. Remember, listening is like a muscle. It gets stronger with regular exercise. Even native speakers sometimes say, "Sorry, could you repeat that?" So be patient with yourself. Thanks for joining me for these 30 minutes of intensive listening practice. Keep challenging yourself, and remember, every conversation you hear is making you a stronger English speaker. This is Taylor signing off. Until next time, keep listening actively.